Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome everybody, Bristol Motor Speedway tonight. Tonight's going to be a doozy, an exciting one for sure at the High Banks Short Track Racing in Bristol, Tennessee. This is chase race number 3, which means we got tons of storylines to talk about in addition to the race itself tonight. But I'm joined in the booth. I'm Scott Patton, of course, up in New Hampshire, joined in the booth by Ken Huber out west. Not the Midwest, right? Where are you at?
The West, the Northwest, as they like to call it there, Scott. Yeah, I had a 1-week hiatus. I apologize to everyone for missing Kansas. Really was disappointed in missing that race. You know, one thing I noticed, though, Scott, about the 3 tracks that are on this chase series is they all 3 of these tracks, we had Kansas and what was the race before that? Darlington. All of them tend to be run in the High Line, and here we are at Bristol and probably be running the High Line again tonight. I wonder if NASCAR set it up that way.
I think so. Yeah, that's true. All 3 races, huh? On the top side. I don't know. I've talked to a couple drivers during the week, did some interviews, and kind of tapped their brain a little bit as to what the strategy was. As we look at Vernon Margin put down some qualifying laps right now. Let's see here. And he's actually not using the entire High Line there, kind of mid-track as he gets all the way up into the wall, of course, as I say that, but...
Yeah, we'll see what happens when they get some heat and some rubber burned off those tires. And there he is. Yeah, just watched him pinch that wall there. So, yep. And I'm watching, looks like Jeffrey Merck out on the track right now. He had the fastest time during practice, and he's out there putting his 2 laps in at the moment.
There he is. Let's go on board. Why not? On the roof cam with Jeff Merck. Look at that, top of the board, 14.614. Backing up his wins the last 2 weeks in a row. Looking for a third and looking for a pass into the next round in the playoffs. He does it in style so far by potentially starting on the front row. 3 minutes left in qualifying right now.
Yeah, and he's basically matched his practice time there, Scott, with the 14.614. Couldn't do it better on the second lap, so he's locked into that right now. Sitting on the pole currently, but we still got a few guys out there on the track trying to get those laps in.
Looking at the one car of Heath Smith right now as he cooled down. Looks like he's in the 3rd spot there with the 14.690.
One of the storylines out there, Scott, I think you were getting ready to, or alluding to, is Jeffrey Merck. All season, we watched Jeffrey Merck kind of have an up and down season, struggle on a lot of tracks. But you know what he's done ever since we entered the chase?
Win, win, win.
Yeah, he is undefeated in the chase and currently sits in 2nd in points. And that a lot has to do with our leader, Justin Michael, racking up those bonus points during the regular season, and that's allowed Justin Michael to stay in the lead. But Jeffrey Merck's been taking them all so far.
So far, he's been turning it on when it counts, when the money's on the line. Kind of reminds me of Tony Stewart style. Remember back in, I want to say 2011. If anybody in the chat out there knows any different, I think it was 2011, the Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards battle through the points. And Tony made some comment during the season like they don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. He barely scraped himself in, and then just went on a huge win streak. Won something like, 5 out of 8 races in the beginning of the playoffs there. And then ultimately the championship. It was an awesome battle, if I remember right, with Carl Edwards at Homestead.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I don't remember the exact year, but I do remember that story. That was it was pretty awesome. Well, Jeffrey Merck is one of those guys that finds himself in that situation right now. So if he can keep it up, you know, we're going to be here at Bristol, and, you know, anything can happen. One of the things I was discussing pre-race with you is the fact that it's tough to see when you're in the corner. When you're coming around those corners and there's a wreck in front of you, it's really hard to see. And by the time you see it, just not enough time to get woed up. So that's going to be one thing that Mr. Merck is going to have to watch out for tonight, as well as about 30 other drivers that are in the multi-league here as we're finishing up qualifying.
Yeah, looks like Rod Mitten is going out. We'll ride on board in the cockpit cam. We'll see exactly what you were talking about, Ken, with that view. Or lack of visibility. You can see the bank is just so high here that you just can't see around the corner as the car leans into the banking here as Rod Mitten starts his green flag lap. See if he can get a nice solid top 10 starting spot here down the back stretch. You can see if something happens on these corner exits, especially with no spotters here. It's going to be really difficult to see and avoid. Rod Mitten at 14th spot, 14.899 his first time around. We're already 3/4 of the way through the second time. See if we can pick up that pace a little bit as the clock runs down. 30 seconds left here off the wall. That lap will not count. If you touch the wall and have an incident, the lap gets thrown away here.
Yeah, well, out of everyone that qualified, the top 16 all are within 0.4 of a second of each other. Everybody in the high 14s right there through the top 16. Only 3 guys outside of it. Everybody else, we got about 6 or 7 drivers that did not take a qualifying lap tonight, so they'll be starting at the back. And that's not a place where I want to start at Bristol, but that's what they've chosen. Hey, Scott, do you have the points available, the standings?
Yeah. There's points if you want to go through them real quick.
Yeah, just real quick. Justin Michael still leading this. Jeffrey Merck in second. Wesley Holland has had a pretty decent season in third. We're getting ready to grid up the car, so we'll get to that real quick. Greg Mall sitting in 4th place, having a decent season. I believe he's got 1 win on the season. Billy Bumgardner in 5th, also had some fast practice times, along with Heath Smith, who he's tied for in that 5th position. Charles Widener in 7th. Christopher Davis is in the 8th place in points. James Hearns in 9th, and that's his teammate. Rod Minton, who we just watched go around the track, is in 10th. Jack Watts in 11th. Trent Drum is in 12th. Now, we still got 4 other chasers, and they're trying to work. This is a cutoff, and there's only going to be 12 left after tonight. So Michael Melfelt Jr. in 13th on the outside looking in. Vernon Margheim, kind of a story there. Last season, he was solidly in the chase by pretty much winning the regular season. Josh R. Scott in 15th, trying to get in this thing, but a long ways out. And James O. Brown, same with him. He's going to have a hard time getting in tonight.
There it is. Appreciate that points. And it looks like those maybe 13th and 14th spot have a decent shot at trying to race their way back in. 15th, 16th, not so much, probably, as we cut down to 12 at the end of tonight. Let's look at the starting grid, which doesn't look like it's working tonight. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. There we go. We got some starting grid action here. Let's go with Jeff Mark, talked about on the pole. Second on his outside. Vernon Margheim, probably on the outside looking in here. Heath Smith in 3rd. Charles Widener from Thurman, North Carolina in 4th. Greg Mall in 5th in the fertilizer car. Actually, I'm not sure what paint he's going to be sporting tonight, but Wesley Holland in the Ford. Freaky Fast, 41 in P6. Justin Michael, of course, one of our championship contenders, missed last week, but ready to put down some points this week. Christopher Davis in 8th. Michael Melfeld Jr. 9th, and Ken Richardson rounding out the top 10 starting.
And starting in 11th is Jack Watts in that 77 Budweiser machine. Andrew Schulte, who also won Bristol here earlier this season, but it was on dirt. So Andrew's out here on the pavement. Normally a pretty quick guy, but he does have 1 win out here at Bristol. Andre Savala will start in 13th. Rod Minton, who we watched go around, will start in 14th. Christopher Howell in the 88 machine will start in 15th. Jeff Gilmore starts in 16th. Josh R. Scott will start in 17th. John Henderson, 18th. Calvin Miller, 19th. And Billy Bumgardner, who didn't take a qualifying lap, first car that didn't take a qualifying lap, will start in 20th.
And it's run to 21st. Cars that haven't taken a qualifying lap, like you said. Trent Drum, Harmony, North Carolina. James Hearns in 22nd. Joey Marks out of Nevada. Johnny Hamby. Jason Hughes in 25th, David Schreck in 26th, and JJ Garrett, Mr. Excitement, in 27th, starting shotgun on this field. I believe we got 2 laps tonight, fortunately, to get this field sorted before we drop the green flag here.
Yeah, a lot of things to cover before we got started. One of the storylines, too, Scott, that I'm noticing here is that 33 car, Vernon Margheim. He is basically on the outside looking in. I think he was in about 16th in points. Well, not 16th, 14th in points. Or 13th, somewhere in there. He's trying to race his way into this next chase, which will be at next week in Texas. So being on the outside pole, he's actually on the inside, but qualifying second, he's doing what he needs to do so far.
That he is. Jeff Mark looks like he chose the outside lane for the start of this thing. And we are about to go green here. We're in the backstretch, turn 3 and 4. We'll go to the flag stand to take a peek. Lights are off in the pace car. 125 laps tonight. Multi-league style, ready to drop the green flag here.
Pace car is in. We're getting ready to take it. Guy Coach God, the flag is out. Burn them down, boys. Jeffrey Merkel away at 95. Into Charles Widener on that outside lane. Let's see if the 33 can tuck in behind that 95 and get that position, and he does. Wesley Holland just behind them in 4th.
Heath Smith there in the 1 car, sharp-looking MLRN car, digging on the inside, playoff contender. We're about to see really quick here how that inside lane compares to the momentum on that outside.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 1 car, Heath Smith, trying to make that inside work. I think that's going to be hard on the tires there. We'll see, but that's the time. If you're going to make the pass, that's the time to do it there, Scott.
He's digging. He's trying to make it work there.
Unfortunately, he's got that 87 of Justin Michael creeping in there, and that gap could close up really quick for him here if he chooses to stay on the bottom. Speaking on the bottom, just a little bit behind them, Andrew Schulte back there in ninth, dropped to the bottom, trying to get around that 77 of Jack Watts there.
Andrew Schulte, I haven't seen much of him, but I heard that when I was doing some driver interviews that he caught wind that winners go straight to the multi-league race of champions series at the end, the conclusion of the Cup series. So he caught wind of that and says, you know what, I'm going to put in a little extra effort here, and I can guarantee you Andrew Schulte is out tonight for nothing but a W.
And there might be a $10 prize in store for Andrew too.
That's true. Kim Quick, one of the admins, let us know that there were some donations made in the league from an anonymous driver, and we have some money up for grabs for the first driver to finish across the finish line tonight that is not already a playoff contender in the top 16. So kind of a cool little consolation prize for whoever can cross the finish line first here.
Definitely is. Well, I was talking about that one car, Heath Smith. Justin Michael now on the outside. Looks like he's going to get that position, just keep working that outside lane. He's got Michael Melfelt Jr. in that 155 car. Michael Melfelt's another one of those drivers on the outside looking in. I believe he's 13th or 14th in points, trying to point his way into this chase as we head to Texas next week.
That he is on board right now with the Federated Auto Parts 155. Michael Melfelt Jr. just single file, kind of chilling out. Probably trying to learn a thing or two maybe from Justin Michael, we know is going to be in contention here. You can still see the leaders way up front there. As the straightaway flattens out, you can see Jeff Mark and Charlie. Let's go to that battle up front here. It looks like it's heating up a little bit with Charlie Widener right on the tail of Jeff Mark.
Yeah, that silver 95 Lowe's machine, painted by Pat Pates, I believe, is working all over the rear end of that Toyota Camry right now.
Then he is looking to the inside on these corner exits. It's going to be difficult to get something going here. As we look to the inside, can't quite finish it that time either. We just lose so much momentum here on these corner exits when you can't put the throttle down and open up that steering wheel for the exit.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably have to start looking forward to lap traffic here in about another 10 laps. We've already knocked out 12 laps. That's how fast they go here, folks, at Bristol, Tennessee. We're 13 laps of 125, so if we can keep it clean and green, this race will tick by really quick.
We're already more than 10% done. Kind of looking at the interval here, I'm kind of interested in a little bit of tire strategy. I got to imagine that this probably isn't one of the tracks that are on the top of these drivers' minds in terms of green flag pit stops and making it through an entire tire strategy. Kind of like we were at last week, Kansas, went green flag the entire race. But a race like this, I can't imagine that they're thinking too much about tire wear, but I'm already seeing some big names. We talked about Justin Michael, Andrew Schulte back there, Wesley Holland maybe kind of taking his time to work through patiently through the lap traffic and save some tires maybe for later in the tire run.
Yeah, that might be a smart strategy. Unfortunately, I didn't see what happened at Kansas with guys taking it easy on tires. Was tires kind of a thing at Kansas last week?
It was kind of interesting because there was two very distinct pit strategies, especially as it stayed green the entire time. Some guys shortcutted it to make it an even three-stop race. Some guys went another 15 laps and then stretched it out and then did a short 10 lap stop at the end of the race.
Sorry there, Scott. Jack Watts in the 77 car. Just got up and lightly tapped in, got a little high on the 87, crowded him out, and I thought there was going to be a big moment there. So sorry about interrupting there.
No, it's good. We got Jack Watts there in the 77 Budweiser car. Always a sharp-looking car. In the playoffs, even though I can't get the playoff banner to work, but...
Yeah, well, he's making the tires work tonight so far. But Justin Michael, I'm always curious about when he starts giving up time like that. If he's back there, like you said, just conserving tires, knowing that it's a short race in a sense as Bristol. I think tires are going to be concerned. But how far can they make it on fuel, Scott? Did we get a report on that?
I did not, and to be honest with you, I almost didn't even waste my time because I figured it wouldn't be a factor. But I'd be impressed if they
based on history
on here. Yeah.
Based on history with the old Cup cars, I want to say that around 90 to 110 laps was the fuel window, if I remember properly. So that's going to take you more than halfway on this. So I would say at least only one stop. And it's going to be curious to how these guys handle that one stop. Do you short pit it, come in and say lap 57 or so, cut it in half, or do you stay out as long as you can in case there's a caution?
Yeah, the downside of staying out here, or I'm sorry, the downside of pitting here at Bristol is you're not only going to go 1 lap down. I got to believe it's got to be at least probably closer to 3 laps. You're going to take a penalty in the pits here. So if caution comes out, your day is all but ruined if caution comes out at the wrong time for you if you do short pit.
I'm back here. I'm looking at Ken Richardson back here in 12th. I think he tried to make a move on the 88, or the 88 got by on the outside, but now he's looking towards the outside. He's got the 79 in that Caterpillar car. JJ Garrett putting pressure on there. JJ Garrett, we haven't talked about him a lot this season, but he's doing a good job out there in that Caterpillar car.
Especially since we talked about JJ Garrett, correct me if I'm wrong, he was starting shotgun on the field. Tell me he's got to be our biggest mover of the race. Up 12 spots from 25th to 13th.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. He's under pressure right now with the Canadian, the 38 machine, that Wendy's. Christopher Davis driving that Camaro ZL1. Just up ahead of them, that 16 car of Ken Richardson working on that 88 car of Christopher Howell. That black and white. Looks like Chevy Camaro out there. Yep. And Ken Richardson give that pass to that Mustang out there, that 16 Can-Am car.
That was a nice job, and I got to believe that JJ Garrett's going to be eager to get his nose in there and make something happen here pretty quick. I just saw Ken Richardson just pass Christopher Howell. He's going to be looking to do the same thing. Christopher Howell's another one that's on my list of guys I was super excited about the whole multi-league race of champions thing, and realizing that all he had to do was get a win. He does have one win on the season. It was the Daytona cutoff race to the playoffs for Christopher Howell. You can see that win stick on his A-post there, but he needs to get one more win here in the remainder of the season. Unfortunately, he pointed his way into the top 16, but did not make the minimum race requirement for the league to be eligible for the playoffs. So a little bit of chip on his shoulder, I'm sure, a little bit of speed here. I'm sure he's going to be, and not to mention he finished second last week. Jeff Marquez, yellow flag is out. We're going to take a look at what happened here in just a second.
Yeah, and I was, that's a 111 car. It looks like there, Scott, of John Henderson might be involved, and it is. He's still stuck down on there in the track.
Yeah, here it is. Oh, goes up and gets Greg Mall up in turn 1 and 2. Calvin Miller on the inside there gets by. Woo. Tough break for Greg Mall and John Henderson. Oh, and there goes the leaders. Jeff Mark avoids that one. Charles Widener. Wow. How about that for a close call there?
Yeah, no kidding. I was just about to say when you were finishing up there, Scott, as everybody's entering pit lane right now. So, this might be the only pit stop they need to make. So it looks like the majority of the cars are on pit lane. Yeah, let's see. Yep. Looks like that's going to be the modus operandi is everybody taking 4 tires for the most part. And that's Jeffrey Mark headed out first. Off pit lane.
I think so. Is there anybody that you see that stayed out, Ken, or is it pretty much everybody?
There was a few cars that stayed out, but it looks like they're on pit lane right now. So I think this might cycle right back around to Jeffrey Mark being our leader when this resumes.
Looks like it as it comes in. Charlie Widener there in second. Jeff Mark crossed the finish line and picks up the pace car here.
So what I was about to say, Scott, is I was watching, while you were talking, I was watching Jeffrey Merck in the distance that he was opening up on the 95 car, but I also noticed that Jeffrey Merck was about to be in a whole heap of lap cars, and they were all fighting each other, and I was like, oh, this is going to be some fun. And just right about then we got the caution.
Let's see if we can get a quick driver interview in, maybe. Let's talk to Charlie Widener here in the 95 car, the Lowe's car. Painted by Patented Paints. Awesome run so far tonight in second. Talk to me about chasing down Merck here. You just kind of buying your time, or you holding on to everything you got to try to get by him so far? And then also talk to me about that wreck and how close that was and getting John Henderson there.
Yeah, Merck's definitely got me on the long run here. But I tried to pass him at one point. My connection started doing something weird, so I backed off. Just killed the right front. But yeah, that wreck... He kept telling me car high, but that wasn't really high. That was kind of in the middle. So I barely missed it.
We got one in the books already. Hopefully that's the most excitement you have tonight. But good luck out there tonight. Hopefully a solid top finish as we narrow the field down from 16 to 12 playoff contenders. You're certainly hot in the running, and car looks great tonight. Good luck out there tonight.
Yep. I'm going to try to take it easy and save the right front, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. There you hear it from... Charlie Widener, the 95 Lowe's Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, and lights are off on the pace car, so we got one to go. So Merck is chosen the outside, going to start this thing in front. Charles Widener, who we just spoke to on the inside, that 95 car. Vern Margheim back there in third. Heath Smith in fourth. Michael Melfelt Jr. out there in fifth. Wesley Holland wraps out your top six.
There it is, down the backstretch, sharp-looking field tonight. David Schreck out there in the Coors car. We haven't talked about him a whole lot.
So lap 35, this will be lap 36. Pace car ducks in as they head towards the Geico restart zone. And here we are, green flags out. Jeffrey Merck gets a heck of a start. Pulled away from the front two. Got the jump on Charles Weiner, but he's in clean now. He's got that open on the top so he can get in there right just behind them. Heath Smith under all kinds of pressure there with the 33 car of Bernard Margheim trying to maintain that position there on the outside. Looks like he's going to do it. Now Wes Holland's going to follow him through on that outside lane.
Michael Milfeld wants a piece of that action too, but decides better of it. Backs off a little bit. Now under the pressure of J.J. Garrett making his way into the top 7 spots here from the back of the field. Here's their excitement, making some moves on the inside. Right now, top 7 or so, single file on the top side.
Yeah, our biggest mover of the race. Oh, there he goes. He just hit the wall. 79 car in the wall. And
I believe
no caution yet. No
Wow.
caution yet. We're at green. He kept it on the apron. So that tire, yeah, that left front is blown. It is basically not turning there. So lots of damage on that car. I think his night is over.
It's too bad for JJ there. Looks like he maybe pressed the loud pedal a little bit too much there off the corner. Just got a little bit loose. I didn't see any contact that I remember seeing. Did you see any contact with cars before he started spinning there, Ken, or did you see kind
no,
of
that was
loose off the corner?
Yeah, he was trying to hug that low line, and it just got loose on him and looped it around. So,
But if I'm Charlie here, we talked about his interview, and he knows that Jeff Merck is better on the long runs. If I'm Charlie, I'm thinking I want to get by Merck sooner than later. Is that what you would have in mind, Ken, if you were in his position?
No, if I was in Charlie's position, like he said, I would try to just manage my tires and then wait till they got in traffic and hope for a lucky break. Because you know Merck is going to be strong, right? Merck is he's on top of his game right now. 2 wins in the chase so far. Looking for that 3rd win. You know, my best bet is just play it safe.
I would say that the ongoing joke, with Jeff Mark is that you just wait for him to implode, and he makes plenty of mistakes out there, and he has throughout the season. But man, he has turned it on fire here in the playoffs. Last week, I got to give it to him. He put together a race from start to finish with green flag pit stops, multiple green flag pit stops, nailed every single one of them. And the tire strategy and managing tires, everything. I have to give that one to Jeff Merck. He worked his butt off for that one. So see if he can string together a similar strategy under the pressure of Charlie Widener here. And Heath Smith, I think, is going to be I don't think he's going to be as patient as Charlie probably is here.
Yeah, and Wes Holland just behind him as we see that 1 car dive to the bottom there. Wes Holland coming up on the outside of that 1 car is going to get that 3rd position relatively easy and bringing the 155 car with him. Now that 155 car of Michael Melfelt Jr. having a heck of a run tonight. Super strong. Talking about fast drivers tonight, Michael Melfelt was fast in practice. Started in 9th. He's up in that top 5 right now. Got Bernard Margheim behind him. And Jack Watts, who started in 11th. They're getting by the 12 car, that lap car there. Jack Watts in that 77 car having a heck of a night tonight after starting in 11th.
Just passed the lap car of Josh R. Scott. That was some hairy moments there for the leaders, but able to get by safely so far in the top 10.
Yeah, it's interesting, Scott. I was just going to say the lap cars, they really weren't a factor for the first 30 or so laps. We didn't see any, and then right away, as soon as we go to green flag, we're in lap traffic like crazy.
Back up front, Charlie Widener putting some pressure on Mark, trying to make a move here and make it happen. Charlie's, man, you can see him getting loose off the corners, getting everything that car has got under the pressure of Wes Holland. His father, Mr. Holland, is in the chat. Nice for you to join us again.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Holland. So, yeah, he's back there in that 3rd position watching those 2 guys battle it out. Now, I guess Charlie's not following my advice of taking it easy and managing those tires.
See, he's following my advice. I told him he's got to go. Got to go right now. He can't get him on the long run. And
yeah,
Wes puts
Holland.
a bumper to him in the middle of the corner, side by side. And Wes with a slide job, can't quite clear him. Charlie saying, I'm not done yet. Off the high side, great battle here for 2nd spot at Bristol.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Charlie checked up because he almost got in the back of Jeffrey Merck there, and that's what caused that incident. So Yeah, that allowed Wesley Holland to get up there and take that position. Now Charlie's going to be facing Michael Melfeld Jr., who's been really strong tonight, currently running in fourth.
Great racing up here in the top 3 at Bristol. Jeff Merck leading every lap so far, but under plenty of pressure now with Wes Holland, a new visitor to the front of the pack, willing to put some pressure on with pretty much nothing to lose in the playoffs. I got to imagine Wes has got more than enough points stacked up, racked up, and ready to rock and roll for the next round in the playoffs here.
Well, the battle for 11th is sure shaping up to be a heck of one. Ken Richardson in that 88 car. Christopher Howell been duking it out for the last several laps here, side by side. Neither one of them can gain the position on each other. Just behind them in that 70 Pennzoil machine is Johnny Hamby. New to the series, having a good run so far tonight there. He's in 13th after starting 23rd.
There he is. We're on top of the Pennzoil car of Johnny Hamby. Looking forward to Ken Richardson. That's the lap car of Greg Mall on the inside. Remember, he was involved in that incident last yellow.
Yeah, Greg Mall not having the night he was hoping to have. Watching his teammates just kind of run away with it.
Talked about Andrew Schulte earlier tonight. He's out in Wisconsin driving the Children's Wisconsin Chevy Camaro. And he's looking for, like I said, nothing but a win tonight. I can guarantee that. Currently just cracked the top 10. Looking for a starting 12th, running 10th. Looking for a solid night and ideally a win in his book.
Well, we're 59 laps into this already, Scott. Can you believe it? And Wesley Holland is like closed that gap. He's running down Jeffrey Merck like a wild man. That was really getting deep into the corner compared to Merck. And I thought he was going to get it in the back of him, but has dropped back just a little bit now.
Trying to put the heat on. It's kind of interesting to see. I want to see, let's look at the roof cam of Wes Holland to see what the line differences are here, because I think there are, even though people are generally taking the high line, there's kind of a couple different ways to take it. You can kind of diamond it, old-fashioned style, or run more along the fence, which I kind of see what Merck is doing there. See how he's up against the wall for the majority of the corner, whereas Wes enters just a little bit lower. I wonder if there's a little bit of advantage there that Wes has found.
Yeah, and there's always a little bit of nuance here at Bristol. You can kind of run a couple different lines depending on whether you're running into the corner hard or exiting hard, you know? So kind of makes the track interesting too. Who can get the best tire wear with their strategy? So looking back here at Heath Smith, looks like Vernon Margheim Vernon Margheim is actually looks like he's struggling a little bit on that high side. Heath Smith's trying to take that away from him down on the low side. This is a battle for the 5th position here currently. And Vernon Margheim is one of those guys that I mentioned at the top of the race is trying to race his way into the next chase race. Currently sits in 13th in points, so he's on the outside looking in, hoping to have a good night and racing his way in.
Yeah, he's one of those that can certainly point his way in with a good run tonight. Running in 6th spot, trying to crack the top 10. So you got to be careful here, Ken. You want to be cautiously aggressive, right? It's probably the way to put it, where you want to pick up spots when they're available, but you don't want to push your luck too much and go beyond what the car is capable of giving you and put yourself in a predicament where you lose a bunch of points at a critical race, cutoff race like Bristol here. Yeah,
and I'm just looking at some of those drivers that are like 10th through 12th right now that might be struggling. Jack Watts is having a pretty decent night, and he's in 11th in points, so you know, he's just got to hold what he's got. Rod Minton in that 92 machine. Where does Rod sit right now?
On the track, he's 9th.
So, yeah, Rod Minton could be in danger if he falls too much further back. So he's one of those guys right there on that top 12, you know, just hovering, trying to stay in this thing. Trent Drum is another one of those drivers. Trent Drum, Trent Drum is back here in 20th, 2 laps down. So Trent Drum having a tough night, so Trent Drum might be out of this thing after tonight.
Yeah, I can't believe he's going to pick up too many points running like that tonight, but not sure what happened with his strategy, but somewhere it got offline as we are more than halfway done this thing. 69 laps on the board of 125.
Yeah, now this is where Jeffrey Merck, who's still currently leading this thing, is going to need to earn his paycheck because he is about to hit a whole heap of lap traffic here. Rest of his night is going to be filled with traffic, it looks like. So how he navigates this is going to be crucial as he's coming up on that lap car of David Schreck. Looks like David's going to give him the high line and going to allow Merck to get by. So lots more cars where that came from, though, unfortunately for Merck.
Yep, Merck gives Dave Schreck a little hand out the window, a little thank you wave for getting out of his way. Next up, Trent Drum and Andrew Savala, I believe that is.
Yeah, and Trent Drum is one of those drivers, like I said, needed a good finish night to stay in that top 12, make that cutoff, and so far it's not panning out too good for him.
Merck is just digging here, top side, low side, passing them wherever they present the opportunity. Saw him go around the bottom side in the corner. He's not afraid to use the entire racetrack because the car just side by side in front of him. Let's see how much patience Merck has.
And this is one of those crucial points too, Scott, and we've been here before. You got two lap cars that are both fighting each other for position. Both have the right to do it, but now they're holding up the leader. And at the time, Merck was just pulling away from Wes Holland, almost 2-second lead.
Yeah, it was 1.8 seconds down to 1 second, almost cut it in half. Merck decides to go three wide on the bottom side. That's the risk he's willing to take. Greg Maul comes up on the backside and says one of his teammates. I'm sure he's not going to give him too much problem, but Merck, I would say, I give him about a 8 out of 10 there for exercising a lot of patience there.
Yeah, definitely, and he decided to break up that party between those two as well.
Let's see. Let's back up to Wes Holland, who's got cars not only from the front side, but from the back side too. Josh R. Scott there is a lap car, but getting his lap back, I'm sure probably on fresher tires or something. But now Wes Holland is forced to deal with that same traffic that Jeff Merck did just a lap ago.
Yeah, some great. I'm really enjoying these guys navigating lap traffic here. Jeffrey Merck now allowed the 32 car, Josh R. Scott, to go by. Jeffrey Merck headed to pit lane. What in the heck? He's down on the apron.
Wow.
What is going on here, Scott?
I gotta imagine he's thinking tires and fuel, but man, is this risky, right?
Yeah, I'm curious. I really would like to know that pit window. We should have asked Charlie when we had him in the booth.
There it is, Jeff Merck on pit road. And see Christopher Howell on pit road. So yeah, maybe this is the start of a green flag cycle here on pit stops.
Jeez, but
wow, you see a bunch of cars coming pit road now. This is where it gets really risky, and the hair on your back kind of stands up, waiting for the next yellow.
Yeah, so Christopher Howell on pit lane. Everybody's still out. Looks like the 86 car is now on pit lane. That's Andre Savala. Just looking here. So far, no other takers to pit lane. So I think that was an early strategy for Merck, maybe to get fresh tires on that thing and kind of run some distance on everybody.
You know what I find interesting? This is a complete 180 from last week. I know you weren't here, Ken, but last week we talked about the pit strategy briefly. It was the exact opposite scenario where Merck was the one staying out for the extra laps. And then people like Wes Holland and a couple others, Wes Holland in particular, came in short pitted, and he was the one that was under risk for the 10 or 15 lap window. We're about to find out how long they can go on the green flag stop here as Wes Holland stays out, taking the lead here, does not want to take the risk of coming to pit road. Kind of interesting how that pit strategy completely flopped from last week to this week.
Well, Ken Richardson has given up his spot on the track, and he's headed to pit lane. And he's got Jeffrey Merck. I'm looking at Jeffrey Merck navigating lap traffic. He's on super fresh tires, so he's going by these lap cars like they're standing still right now. David Schreck on pit lane. 77 Jack Watts is on pit lane. So everybody is starting to hit the pit lane. 70 car Johnny Hamby on pit lane. 16 car Ken Richardson. Oh no, that was my timing and scoring there. 92 car of Rod Minton, and the 155 car, one of our top 5 cars again on pit lane, and that is Michael Melfeld Jr.
Here's Jeff Merck going through the traffic, like you said, just slicing and dicing. Ken Richardson's the next one on his platter. Bottom side there, he's got Jack Watts to worry about, slower car on the inside. Chooses to take the top lane, but Charlie Widener is going to be up there on old tires. Slices through the inside, thinks better of the 3 wide.
Yeah, and Ken Richardson, 77.
Jack Watts and Billy Bumgarner getting together there.
Oh, this is going to bring out a caution.
There's the caution, and I heard nothing but a huge sigh on the radio.
I heard it.
That's Jeffrey Merck there for you, folks.
Jeffrey Merck has now caught a lap down. Andrew Schulte was involved in that wreck. Jeffrey Merck is the first car lap down. I think he's going to get his lap back there, Scott. The only problem is he's going to probably be in the lead when this is over, but he's going to be on older tires unless he goes back in. So,
yeah. See
interesting.
How many cars cycle here. There's only, I'm showing like 8 cars on lead lap. So if I was Merck, I'd probably come back in and fresh
trying
out
to
the
figure out.
tires and-
Okay, I just want to make sure I was right there because I seen Wesley Holland on my timing and scoring just pop up to that first car lap down. So
We just heard Lucky
Looks
Dog
like,
coming high as Jeff Mark is the official Lucky Dog tonight.
So yeah, 8 cars on the lead lap there, Scott, and Jeffrey's going to be on a little bit older tire, so he might start the race in the lead. But this is a question: do you come in and pit? And he is. So there, that answers my question. Oh no, he's confused. So
The other side,
so,
Mark.
Yeah, the pit lane here. It's a dual pit lane entry exit situation here at Bristol tonight. So Jeffrey got caught off. And that's going to cost him some time, but he still should be able to beat the pace car out on the dual entry lanes like this.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe that's a concern here at Bristol. If you're already half a lap down, which he was already trying to catch up with the field, screwed up the first pit entry. Hopefully he has enough time to get 4 tires here and get back out and stand lead lap.
Well, he should. It's definitely a concern when it's single lane pinch entrance because it takes so long to go all the way around. But it's only got half the pits to go through, so should be able to get his 4 tires and get back out there. So
Why don't we... You want to talk to him, maybe?
yeah, let's bring him up.
Let's make sure he gets off the pit road and kind of gets in line here before we nag him too much.
We get everybody stacked up here. Just take a look at. Hey, Jeffrey Merck. This is Ken Huber and Scott in the booth. How's your night going tonight?
Oh, it was going good till about 2 laps ago.
Yeah, no, it was an ugly race. Do you need to catch up there, or are you just letting cars by? I don't want to interrupt
Nah,
you too
I'm a
long.
lucky dog, so you know how iRacing is.
Yep.
It's, pass everybody, want to go, let everybody else by you. So,
Well, you kind of seem to have this race at hand tonight. So now that you find yourself back here, and it looks like 8th position or so, or 6th, I should say, how are you going to make your way back up to the front? You only got 35 laps to go.
yeah, that's going to be the chore. I mean, a lot of these are lap cars, slower cars, and I know they're racing, but hopefully they'll give me a lead way. That just ain't going to be easy to get around, so it's just going to be a matter of hoping, fighting lap traffic. I mean, I got the fastest car, so I'm just going to have to be patient.
Yeah, be patient. Well, you're about to go green, so we're going to send you back to your team, and good luck to you tonight.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
There it is from Jeff Merck, starting in the back of the pack here with lap cars on his inside. You can see all the inside cars are lined up single file. So I guess there's not that many cars. He'll have to work his way around. As coming down to the green flag, lap 92, 93 going on the board. Justin Michael in commanding his spot where he's used to, picking up right where he left off after missing last week. To the lead here at Bristol. Vernon Margheim and looks like James Hearns. Welcome to the picture here, top 5.
Yeah, James Hearns having a quiet night. Wesley Holland coming up really fast behind James Hearns right now, back there in the 4th. Looking to the outside of that royal purple car. 41 gets by, and then Vernon Margheim, we mentioned him, he's going for the lead right now. And I have a feeling the way Justin Michael's been racing, we'll see, couldn't get it done there, but Vernon Margheim, I think he's winless on the season. Currently
He's got
trying to get
one win back in
he's
the
got
Auto
one
Club.
win. Okay. Sorry about that, Vern. But Vern inherits the lead there. Gets by Justin Michael on the inside. Now Wes Holland on the inside of Justin Michael as well.
It's kind of odd for me to see Justin Michael give up so many spots. Was he on... he hasn't pitted yet since that first yellow. Would that be... I think that's an accurate statement.
Well, that would be a factor, depending on the tire situation, I guess. Looking back here, I'm looking for where, let's see. I was looking for Jeffrey Merck to see how he was managing the traffic. He's back there in 4th. See where he is in relationship to the leader there. It looks like he's about a quarter of a lap behind the leader. Making his way through the lap traffic there. Jeff Gilmore in the 57 car, currently running in 3rd too in that Miller, that golden white Miller 57 car. We haven't talked about him tonight.
I mean, what a shuffle through here. And there's Jeff Merck just plowing his way through the field here. On the inside, around Jeff Gilmore, looking at Ken Richardson off the wall in turn 4. Man, these composite bodies, hope he doesn't leave too much of a mark there, but Jeff Merck looking for everything he can get here. To the inside of Ken Richardson. This will be for
we're
the
under caution.
and yellows out.
Well, that's probably actually good news for Jeff Merck because that's going to put him in fourth position, it looks like, or in second position. What? Yeah, he's in second right now.
That's right.
What the heck? Did we lose Justin Michael or something?
We lost Billy Bumgarner. Looks like he got hooked. Justin Michael got into him there. Not sure where the incident first happened from, but let's take a look from a different camera angle, see if we can find exactly what happened here.
Justin Michael on pit lane, Vernon Margheim on pit lane, 77 of Jack Watts on pit lane, 87's on pit lane, and the 38 of Christopher Davis.
There we go. Appreciate that pit road update as we finish watching this on the backstretch. Justin Michael, maybe just getting into the right rear of Billy Bumgarner, and Billy's up into the wall in that Gatorade Ford Mustang there. Tough night for him. Fastest in practice at one night. He was putting up some laps earlier on in the night.
Yeah, so, well, at this point, there's only 10 cars on the lead lap, 11. Billy Bumgarner should get his lap back, I believe.
Guess who's the leader right now?
Vernon Margheim.
Negative.
And he raced his way up there too, Scott.
Vernon pitted, I believe. Vernon's back in third spot now off pit road.
Yeah, I don't know. The timing and scoring is kind of really weird tonight. I don't know how Merck is showing.
Leader goes to Merck right
new
now.
Leader.
Yep, new leader Jeff Merck. Because remember with that pit strategy, he pitted last caution.
Oh,
after
that's
the
right.
Lucky Dog.
Those guys hit pit lane. So Merck's going to have a couple older laps on his tires, but Merck's been pretty strong, and that high line is hard to get around. So we'll have to. Should be pretty good. We'll see. It looks like Charles Widener. It looks like we're kind of reset back to the way we were at the beginning of the race. Charles Widener in second, Wes Holland in third, Vernon Margheim in fourth, Justin Michael in fifth. That's almost how we started this thing, Scott.
Yeah, should be really interesting now, I think, because, yes, you heard it from Jeff himself saying that he had the fastest car out here tonight, but now he does have, let's see, 14 laps on his tires. Him and Charlie Widener. Charlie has the exact same, 14 laps on his tires as well. But back up past that, now we're talking about Vernon Margheim, Justin Michael, James Hearns, all those guys. Christopher Davis even just pitted that stop, so just 2 laps on their tires under caution. Should be interesting if these guys, who were a little bit slower throughout the race, can catch Jeff Merck with fresher tires.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. And then another storyline, Vernon Margheim trying to race his way into this thing. He's in third, you know, he's got to be careful there. You might want to go out there and win it, but needs to stay in the top 12 or get into the top 12 to make it to the next round. So Vernon's going to need to be careful here as he's going to start in fourth place there on the inside of the second. Well, we're racking and stacking, getting ready to go green. Lights are out in the pace car. We're on the back stretch. Why don't you take us to green there with 20 to go there, Scott?
You know what? You were doing such a good job, Ken. Let's do this. Why don't we crank it up here with 20 laps to go at Bristol. Here we go, folks. Enjoy the show here as we come to green with 20 laps to go. Jeff Merck.
See.
Here we are back under caution here at Bristol. I think my scoring is right, saying Josh R. Scott was involved. We'll take a look here at the replay in just a second as we get caught up to the pace car. Just 14 laps to go. Jeff Merck holds on to the lead, but a tough battle there during that crank it up session between Justin Michael, Charlie Widener, and Vernon Margheim. Go back to the replay. There it is. Josh R. Scott gets sideways. Gosh, he was sideways all the way from turn 4 there. Watching slow motion from his cockpit as he tries to wheel that thing across the start-finish line, gets a hold of it, and probably still on the gas pedal here. Brings it to the inside and to a stop in the middle of turn 1 there.
Well, we're going to have about, looks like 12, 13 laps to go here when we go green. Got a message out there from Dawn Merck. Well, I shouldn't say a message. It sounded like she was a little concerned when Jeff Merck was back there in all that traffic, but he's out there leading this thing currently out there out front of his teammate there in that 87 car, Justin Michael, who's up there in second now on a little bit fresher tires. And like I said, we're going to have a good old-fashioned Tennessee shootout. I was going to say Texas, but that's next week.
I was going to say Saturday night shootout, but it's a Monday night, so I was wrong too, but yeah.
Take another beer and shut up, I guess, for me.
Let's go through our top 5 maybe here. Jeff Merck, we talked about. Started the race on the pole, went through some traffic, got the short end of the stick in terms of pit strategy, but worked his way back up front. Justin Michael with the most wins on the season, championship contender for sure. Hot on his trail here in second spot with fresher tires. Charlie Widener been proving that he's in the top podium spots, that he deserves to be up there all night long. Vernon Margine, we talked about in the point standings, trying to point his way in, being cautiously aggressive here, pick up as much as he can get. And Christopher Davis, no wins on the season, but he is excellent when it comes to point racing, and no point race is more important than tonight's in terms of advancing to the next round, so he's doing exactly what he needs to do, rounding out the top 5 tonight.
Yeah, a heck of a run by all those guys. Wesley Holland back there in 7th, Jeff Gilmore in 6th. Wesley Holland had been running up in the top 3, kind of struggling here the last couple laps here. So I imagine he's going to be a little aggressive, although he's pretty safe in the points, so he should be able to transfer. James Hearns back there in 8th. Also in the points, his teammate Christopher Davis. James Hearns having a quiet night, currently 9th in points, so doing what he needs to do to stay in this thing. Michael Melfelt Jr. in 9th. Also, he's actually one of the guys trying to get into this thing, so he's going to need to do well and then have a couple guys that are ahead of him kind of have some problems tonight.
Currently as high as 3rd spot tonight. He got up there for a little while, as low as 12th, and currently running in 9th, like I said.
Well, lights are out in the pace car. There's a trophy out there in victory lane for one of these guys. 2 teammates up front there with Bandit Motorsports trying to hold off the field. The question is will Justin Michael be nice? And you know, Jeffrey Merck is hungry. He wants to prove a point. Struggling all season, wants to prove it with 3 wins in a row as the pace car ducks in.
Here we go. Green flag's out. Jeff Merck does what he does best all night long, dominating position from the front row on those older tires. We'll see if Justin Michael's going to be eager to get right on his back bumper here with just 10 laps to go here at Bristol. We're counting him down to the finish of this thing, surely to be a doozy. We'll see that. Charlie Widener right on the backside of Vernon Margine rather here.
Caution, yeah.
And we're under caution. Looks like James Hearns I see sideways back there. We'll take a look at what happened here. Oh, started with Wes Holland on the front stretch. Maybe just, gosh. Almost gets into... Where did this start here? Off of turn 4 is where we're at. James Hearns I know was involved, but here's Wes Holland getting a little bit loose off of turn number 4. Thinks better of getting it to Christopher Davis, saves it, sacrifices against the wall, and tries to bring it to a stop here, and then clobbers James Hearns, unfortunately, playoff contender in turn number 1. Then a big pile up behind these guys. James Hearns, Billy Bumgardner, Michael Milfelt, I think just barely got by there, but a couple cars collected in that one.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough break for James Hearns. Currently 9th in points, so, you know, essentially on the bubble. He's, looks like he's about 13 points or so from being outside looking in, so he's going to have to hope that some of these other drivers that he's racing are struggling as well tonight. Meanwhile, Rod Minton back there in 7th in that yellow and blue machine. Currently, he's 10th in points, trying to hold on to that, and he's doing what he needs to do. to stay in contention. So he'll be there at Texas next week.
Certainly a nice job by Rod. He was running some fast laps in practice. I remember seeing him towards the top of the board at one point. And solid seventh place running right now in top 10.
Well, everyone, if you like what you're seeing here, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps us out here at Multi-League Racing TV. Gets the league out there, gets us noticed, so make sure that you do that as we get ready to have a heart-pounding last 3 or 4 laps here, Scott. I think, what's the tire difference between Justin Michael and Jeffrey Merck?
It is 12 laps. 30 laps on Merck and 18 laps on Merck and the rest of the guys here. 18 laps on Justin, rather, than the rest of the field.
Well, the way the race started last night, it didn't look like Justin Michael had a whole lot for Jeff Merck, but you never know about that guy. You know, sometimes he holds back until he needs to. But right now, Jeff Merck is back in the catbird seat where he's basically been all night with a short little stint being a lap down. So, you know, there's an accomplishment right there. Bristol went down a lap. Within, I don't know, it must have been 5 laps or so, he finds himself back in the lead.
That it is. Thought things were going against him here at the halfway point in that pit strategy, but he has proven that he does in fact have the fastest car tonight. He's shown patience. We saw him working through lap traffic. He's got the strategy down, he's got the tires down, he's got the fast car. He's got Justin Michael teammate behind him. He's got kind of everything stacked in his favor for potentially 3 out of 3 rather for the chase races.
That for sure. Well, there you go, YouTube. I didn't jinx him so far tonight. I actually helped him out. So we talked about Jeff, and he's up front again. So there you go. Our top 5 right now. Jeffrey Merck leading this thing, taking the outside as we're about to go green. Justin Michael on his inside. Werner Margheim in the 3rd position on the inside. Charles Widener in the Silver Lowe's machine on the outside in 4th. And Jeff Gilmore rounds out your top 5 in the Miller machine.
Here we go at Bristol. Relap shootout here. And Jeff Merck all the way up against that wall, waiting for the green flag, the Geico restart zone. There it is on the loud pedal again. Justin Michael to the inside. Jeff Merck gets a great jump, 3-car length jump. Charlie Widener putting up a huge battle here for Vernon, gets a huge run on the backstretch, looking for the spot around Justin Michael. Can't quite get there in the middle of 3 and 4.
He got up there, kissed that back bumper there of Justin Michael. Couldn't get it done. Now he's back under heat from the 33. There he goes. Justin Michael slipped up. Justin Michael's falling back. We got a wreck. 155 car in the wall.
Christopher Davis.
And we got a green-white checker. Justin Michael's still not out of the woods yet. He's still beating off other cars there. So big slip up by the 87 machine caused a chain reaction there.
Wow, you saw that on board with the 87. Those cars darted by, and then people are darting for position, and they all get tangled here off the corner. We'll try to summarize and see if we can get a good view of what happened back here. Maybe from the blimp. Let's go take a look here. This Christopher Davis kind of started with Justin Michael in front here. Let's go Justin Michael, slow motion. Gets loose there off of turn number 2, I believe that is. And then Michael Milfeld Jr. So he just gets into the back of Christopher Davis. Christopher Davis tries to correct Michael Milfeld to the inside wall. Davis to the outside wall. Collects Justin Michael. See what other cars are involved. Ken Richardson trying to get by here. Clips off the left door of Justin Michael. Jeff Gilmore to the inside. Cars all over the place here.
I want to point out something here, Scott, too, with Michael Milfeld Jr. If you do a close-up of his car, his left front tire is not turning. Now, it could be my connection, but I believe that left front tire is down.
Yeah, it is down.
He hasn't come into pit lane. We got a green-white checker, and he's trying to race his way into the points right now. So he's taking a big risk being out there on a flat tire right now. So that's an interesting move, and hopefully he doesn't cause any more carnage out there, but high-risk maneuver right here.
Michael Milfeld currently running in 7th. I gotta imagine he's gonna be, and looks like there's only 8 cars on lead lap, so he's probably just trying to hold on to 8th spot here and point his way in. I'm not sure why he wouldn't pit though, to at least try to get fresh tires, if not a little bit of the damage fixed, but
Yeah, and that A-frame might be broke on that car too. It might be one of the issues why he's not coming in, because he might be required to park it, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. If you come to pit road and it gives you required repairs and you're stuck there for a minute and a half and potentially go laps down.
And he is headed to pit lane. So I think the NASCAR called him out and said, you go to pit lane right now. So there you go. I believe that was our league administrator. Told him to go to pit lane.
I heard Kim talking, but was he telling Mike to go to pit road?
I believe so, yeah.
I think Mark's laughing about it out there.
All right, so lights are out on, well, not yet, but I think they're going out now. So Jeffrey Merck still leading this thing on the outside. Lights are still on the pace car, so we got another lap. I was getting excited. I was ready for the shootout.
It's coming, don't you worry. Charlie Widener starting in second. Still proving that he belongs in that top two. I would say he's been the second best car the majority of tonight here.
Well, Michael Melfelt Jr. is still on pit lane, so that's he's in big trouble there. So he might have had a required black flag too. So I don't know if that was Kim, and maybe Kim seen the black flag in the booth, said you need to get to pit lane right now or you're just going to get DQ'd. So that's my guess. Lights are out now, so Jeff Merck leading this thing. Charles Widener on his inside. Justin Michael on the outside in third. I don't know how he kept that. Vernon Margheim in fourth, and Rod Mitt in the top five.
There it is. We'll see if Justin Michael can make any difference here from his restarts. The last couple times we've seen him, he's been on the front row, stuck on the inside where Charlie Widener is. We'll see if that makes any difference now with Justin Michael being behind his teammate. Jeff Merck potentially counting down to the green flag. Geico restart zone. We're out here. Green-white check and finish here at Bristol. Side by side for second. Justin and Charlie Widener looking to pick up that spot. Slide job to the outside is an awesome job there.
Oh, and Charlie just gets into the wall there. Able to hold on to that position. Jeffrey Merck runs it down here. It looks like we're going to be on the final lap right here.
There it is. White flag is out. Last time around for Charlie Widener to try to break up the win streak of Jeffrey Merck in the playoffs. Through turn 3 and 4 last time around. Justin Michael in third spot solidly, and there it is. Checkered flag is out. And Vernon Margheim bringing it home in fourth. Jeff Gilmore in fifth. Great run for Jeff tonight.
Yeah, rounding out your lead lap cars is just Christopher Holland, the 88 car, or gets seventh position. Everybody else a lap down. So good run by everybody tonight. Jeffrey Merck 3 in a row during the championship, the first chase races of the season there. Scott, what do you think about that?
That is impressive for sure. I thought for sure there were plenty of mistakes on Jeff Merck's platter for the night ahead of him, but he proved me wrong. He kind of went down a lap in the pit strategy and showed some patience in getting back through the field and showing what it takes to be a championship contender here in the multi-league Stone River Outfitters Cup Series. Jeff Merck, win number, 7 on the season, I want to say. I think we put 6. Yeah, there's 6 stickers on there. We're putting number 7 on this week.
Yeah, and he's starting to put him down. He's starting to show that patience and discipline that we talked about all season. He was kind of lacking in the early part of the season and is kind of bringing it on now.
We'll queue up our drivers here for some interviews in a second or two, and we will, let's see here. Who do we need? Justin Michael. We've got him. We've got Merck. We've got Charlie. What do you want to start with, Ken?
We got our 3. However you want to start it, Scott.
Let's go with Merck first. Let's go top down, right? Since we're on his car already. Jeff Merck, race win number 7 on the season, and number 3 out of 3 for the playoffs so far. Dominating fashion. Hard to say that tonight at Bristol. In the middle of the field there, your pit strategy, you chose to come down to pit road under green a little bit earlier than most of your competitors. How worried were you that that strategy would not pan off the way it did tonight?
Well, there were a couple cars that came by me. They were pretty much killing me on lap times. I know Greg Mall came by me. A couple other cars came by me. Kind of made my decision for me. I didn't want to wait and then not have enough time to run them back down. Came back out. Everybody seemed to be doing okay. I think a couple of lap cars got together, brought out a caution. Luckily, I was the first car lap down. So I definitely had the fastest car. So I just went back out there, kept my head on straight, got by as many cars as I could, got back up front, and still won the race.
That is true. Everything you just said is very true from what I saw. Ken and I were complimenting you on some discipline. We saw some huge discipline and some great moves working through lap traffic and showing some patience as Wes Holland was continuing to put pressure on within 2 seconds of you at one point in the middle there. And I thought that was some great discipline that's going to be much needed and probably rewarded as you continue your playoff bout here through the playoff season.
Yeah, definitely. I've been more putting whole races together instead of just being fast for a couple of laps. Just driving as hard as I would go every lap. That's kind of what I was doing at the beginning of the race. I'd go out kind of real easy, running 15.3s. Half a second's just as good as 10 seconds, as long as you're in front of them at the end. So when they get close to me, I still had enough. I could step it up and get back away from them if I needed to. So that was kind of my strategy for tonight, is run as hard as I needed, just as hard as I needed to, because this is a concrete track, so it's really hard on the tires. I found that out earlier this week. If you just go out and run, sub 15-second laps every lap, then you're gonna burn the tires up. So I just kind of minded my tires and kept them underneath the car.
Certainly did a great job of that tonight on the high banks of Bristol. You got anything for him, Ken?
Well, I was going to say, hey, I'm going to give the other drivers a break. Justin Michael's been getting some heat for winning tons of races during the regular season. You come out here in the playoffs and you get the first 3 in a row. You got to be pretty proud about that.
Oh, yeah. The regular season, they count, but long as you're in the top 16, the playoff wins is twice as important as regular season wins. I know dominating regular season is really nice, but I'd rather dominate the playoffs and be that guy everybody's shooting at going into Phoenix. But can't take anything away from Justin. He's got 10 wins. He was up there racing with me tonight. He's never really liked Bristol concrete. He's not really a short track guy. He loves the cookie cutters. Anything above mile and a half, anything under a mile, he's not a big fan of it. But Justin's a great teammate. I got to give my hats off to all my Bandit Motorsports teammates over there. They're a great bunch of guys. We give each other a bunch of crap during the race, but I consider them all good friends, and I'm looking forward to racing Justin for the championship. So we'll see what happens.
There you have it from a race winner. Anybody to thank here for race win number 7, 3 out of 3 in the playoff series. What do you got, Jeff?
Okay. The last 2 wins, I forgot these guys, so they're going first tonight. Bandit Motorsports, all my teammates over there. See Chris, Justin, Patton up in the booth. He's a Bandit Motorsports. Wally Tierheimer, all the guys, I can't list them all, but Bandit Motorsports, we've been dominating this season with all the wins and all the good finishes. My loving wife inside, Dawn, she's probably watching the broadcast right now. Baby, I love you. This win's for you. PCOS Awareness Month, September. The ribbon's on the back of the car. Patented Paints, he painted this 22-a-day Stone River Outfitters machine. It's a great car. If you need a paint, go see Scott with Patented Paints. Multi-League Racing Network, Scott Patton, Ken Huber in the booth. Y'all guys always do a great, outstanding job. You always call it like you see it. Even if I'm driving like shit, y'all say I'm driving like shit. So, so that's the way it should be. Kim Quick, all the admins over here, guys do a great job. Last but not least, Mikey LaVenture and all the guys that own Stone River Outfitters. Stone River Outfitters, the premier fly tying shop in the Northeast. They do have a brick and mortar shop up there. If you're up in that area, swing by, tell Matt LaVenture and them I said hello. Tell them Multi-League sent you. 22 a day. We lose on an average of 22 veterans a day to suicide. If you know a veteran that's struggling with his PTSD or injuries, smack him on the back, buy him a beer, sit down, talk to him for a little while, make him feel better. Help him every way you can. Another big shout out, Stone River Outfitters. StoneRiverOutfitters.com for all your fly tying and fly fishing needs. Look those guys up. They're a great bunch of guys, veteran owned and operated. And that's everybody.
Appreciate it, Jeff. The title sponsor car winning once again here, number 7 on the season. Congratulations. Go Well, your wife's with you upstairs, right? She wasn't here last week, is that right, Don?
Yeah, no, she was dog sitting the in-laws' dogs last week. She's here this week, so.
So there you go. Go
go.
share a drink with her upstairs. Enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next week from Texas, it sounds like.
Yes, sir. See you then.
All right, see you, buddy. There we have it. Ken, here's Charlie Widener, our second place finisher tonight.
Hey, Charlie, great job in that 95 Lowe's machine tonight. I know we talked to you during the race. Actually, you were one of our in-car drivers that we spoke to, and you were worried about chewing off the right front early in the race, and you said you were going to tone it down. So was that actually work out for you tonight?
I should have known better. I know me. I can't slow it down. So it was chewing at the right front regardless. But I thought you guys jinxed me for a second. I was having some bad luck there in the middle of the race.
Yeah, but you came back with a nice recovery in that second spot there. And what I noticed there, Justin Michael got himself in a little bit of trouble there. And you drove the wheels off that thing the last couple of laps. So can you walk us through the last few laps there?
Yeah, that last the restart before the last caution, Justin got loose in the middle, and I was lucky enough to dive under him and drive out of the corner and clear him before anything else happened. But that last restart, well, I guess that might have been I don't remember. It happened so fast here at Bristol. But
things do happen fast here.
But yeah, I got lucky enough to clear, get in the second, and I thought if I had a little bit better restart, I could have stayed with Merck, but because he wasn't really leaving me those last couple of laps. But I was surprised I had the run just as much as anybody else is. That was pretty good.
Well, it was fun watching you tonight, and I love that beautiful Lowe's machine that Scott painted for you there at Patton Paints. Hey, so I noticed that your 7th points in place going into this race, 7th place in points, and so I think you had a good points night. Solidly going to be in the top 12 for next week, and next week we're headed to Texas. What do you got for Texas?
I like mile and a half tracks, but I hate what they did to Texas. If I can figure out turns 1 and 2, I should be good. Yeah, I've had a string of pretty good average finishes here in the playoffs. I think I had one race where I was like 12th. Otherwise, I was pretty high. It's a good time to be running good.
It definitely is, and Texas is another one of those places where turns 1 and 2 will burn that right front off. So, yeah, get to working on that. You got 6 days or so of practice, and look forward to seeing you run up front next week. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Sure. I got you two in the booth. I do watch the broadcast after every race, and you guys do a great job.
I appreciate that. I'm sure Scott does too.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, Charlie.
Kim for putting it on. I got 2 great teammates with James Hearns and Christopher Davis. They were kind of rooting me on there, and I want to thank Michael Milfelt. Me and him's been practicing during the week, which may have something to do with my second place run, maybe. And yeah, a beautiful paint by Patented Paints. So thanks there, Scott.
You bet, Charlie. Dominating run tonight here, even though you weren't necessarily in the lead or contender for the win. I would say you were a solid podium. I mentioned it several times on broadcast. It was great to see you up there in second, pounding Mark there for the win. So appreciate everything, the hard effort throughout the week, and good luck to you carrying that momentum for the rest of the playoffs here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There it is, Charlie Widener, second place runner-up. We are with Justin Michael now, third place. What do you got, Justin? Kind of an up and down night, if I had to sum it up in short. But what was it from your standpoint? Involved in a couple incidents, at least one that I remember with you and Billy Bumgarner, I want to say.
I don't know who it was. I know somebody came across my nose there on I think the back stretch, and got a little bit of a skirmish there with a couple laps to go. But I mean, I got a top 5 out of it, so that was a win for me. I didn't have any expectation coming into this race because I'm not that good here. So
talk to me about the long run. It looked like in the beginning of the race, you started towards the front and then you kind of gave up several positions and kind of floated backwards, much like we see you do on the bigger tracks, kind of the 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and then you tend to come back later on the tire run. But I gotta believe at a place like Bristol, the long run tire run was probably not on the forefront of your mind? Was that were you just losing track position just because the other guys were that much faster than you, or is it a strategic move on your part?
It seemed like on new tires, I just wasn't fast here at all. But the long run, it does seem like it came back to me. I know I was towards the end of those runs, I was starting to catch people and pass them. So I think it was coming to me. And then that long run, we were actually saving gas. I thought we wouldn't make it, but about 20 laps in, I started saving a little bit. I was like, well, if I keep doing this, I'll probably be okay by a lap. So we started saving more, and unfortunately the yellow came out. So if it would have went green all the way, I think Andrew said he was good. I know I was good, so probably would have got a 1-2 with me and him.
Wow, it's kind of crazy to think about fuel-saving strategy at Bristol Motor Speedway, but after last week's race especially, I know you weren't here last week. Maybe that was the diamond in the pocket, but we went green from green flag to checkered flag last week. What do you got next week? Similar track at Texas to Kansas. I know you weren't there for Kansas, but what do you got next week at Texas? I know those mile and a halves are kind of more in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, we like Texas, so hopefully the setup's pretty good. I haven't tested it yet, so we'll do that this week, and hopefully we'll come out strong. Merck got a couple gimmies there, so we'll have to ruin his parade there. Hopefully,
let him know who's in charge. Still,
at least get him second.
Pissing his Cheerios, as they like to say.
Exactly.
I love it. 10 wins on the season so far. Looking for number 11 next week at Texas. I'm sure you're going to be in dominating fashion there. Look forward to it. Anybody think for the podium finish? Third place tonight.
It's everybody out there watching. You guys call good races always, and my friend Darren's out there watching. He sent me some text messages, and you paint a great car, so always check out Patent Paints for a good paint scheme, and Kim for putting on this league. It's a really good league, so we definitely appreciate him.
We appreciate it, Justin. We'll look forward to seeing you next week at Texas. Have a good week, and
thanks, guys.
We'll see you there. See you, Justin.
Well, Scott, an exciting race at Bristol, as we had no doubt, but it was fairly clean. We kind of finished this kind of early tonight. I'm kind of proud of these guys tonight. What do you think?
I think for sure for Bristol, especially after I was cautiously optimistic when I was thinking of Bristol, especially after going green flag from green flag to checker flag last week at Kansas. So certainly impressive by these guys, and a great run all around. Saw some great racing, saw some strategy, and by a lot of these guys tonight here.
Yeah, and we watched our race winner battle back from a lap down. So although it was short, he still was lap down. So you got to give the man credit, Jeffrey Merck, pulling that out of his hat. And I'm sure he's running on high emotions right now, and high and happy emotions right now, having that drink with Don. Probably as we speak, probably watching the broadcast, is he's thinking about Texas and how he is probably going to start practicing up for that, because he's going to want that.
Certainly, for sure. Speaking of Texas, we'll see you next week from Texas Motor Speedway. Same channel, same time. Ken Huber in the booth. Myself, Scott Patton, will join you next Monday from Texas. Have a safe week, everybody. Thanks for watching here on the Multi-League Racing Network.
Good night, everybody.